भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Today is sorry about the background sound. Today is July 19th, 2026, and we are in the 542nd session. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, the deliverance of the Yamala Arjuna trees, and we are in text 23. Let's read the verse first, and then we'll go into discussion. Sri Shuka Uvacha Eva Muktva sa Devarshir Gato Narayanashramam Nalakuvaram Manigriva Asaturyamal Sri Shuka Uvacha Eva Muktva sa Devarshir. Actually, one second. I think my Bluetooth is on. Okay. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evamukta sa Devarshir Gato Narayanashramam Nalakuvara Manigriva Asaturyamal. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Sukadev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Evam Uktvasa Devarshir. So Narad Muni was planning, but whatever he was planning, whatever he was thinking, he was speaking aloud. So Nalakuvara and Manigriva were in front of him, and he's speaking, and he's also speaking aloud for others to hear. So in the last 4 verses, we saw Narad Muni is 19 to 22. That Tadaham, that means because they are that means being poverty stricken is the best medicine for for one who is intoxicated by wealth. And the best advantage of being poverty stricken is one is able to take advantage of sadhu's association. Therefore, I am going to take away their intoxication caused by the mode of ignorance. And because their condition is, they are so deeply drowned in the mode of ignorance that in spite of being the sons of a great demigod, they're standing naked and they're not even aware that they're naked. They are so much covered up. They're so covered in pride. Sudurmadav. So therefore they deserve to become trees. That's the only, because their consciousness is like trees. So they deserve to become trees. However, even though they become trees, just so that they don't repeat the same thing in future, by my mercy, they will remember everything. Even in the tree bodies, while in tree bodies, they will remember who they are and why they were punished like this. Not only that, by my mercy, they will also get proximity to Lord Krsna. That means they will be able to witness Lord Krishna's pastimes. When after 100 years of the demigods have passed, that means after 36,500 years, they will get to see Krishna. And after that, by getting Krishna's association, by getting his touch, they will get bhakti also, and then they'll go back to Swarga. So this is what Narad Muni said. So after saying this, Eva Muktva Sa Devarshir, after saying this, Narad Muni, Gato Narayan Ashramam, he went to Narayan Ashram. Narayan Ashram means Naranarayan Rishi's ashram and Badrikashram. So he went to Badrikashram. Nalakuvara Manigrivav Asatur Yamalarjunau. So, and what happened to Nalakuvara and Manigriva? Narad Muni left, giving this curse, or you can say benediction, actually. Curse, which was actually a benediction. After saying this, that 1,000 years, after 1,000 years, you will get the association of Lord Krishna. After saying this, and then you'll get bhakti, then you'll go back to Swarga. At that time, after saying this, Narad Muni left. After saying this, Eva Muktva Sa Devarshir Gato Narayan Ashramam. After saying this, Narad Muni went to Badrikashram. And what happened to Nalakura and Manigriva, who were there standing naked? Asatur Yamalarjuna. And immediately they came down to this earthly planet and they became trees, Yamalarjuna trees. Who is saying all this? Sukadev Goswami is saying. You remember at the beginning of this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj asked, so how did the previous chapter end? In the previous chapter, towards the end, because the previous chapter was Damodar Leela, where Yashoda Mai tied Krishna to the grinding motor. And then she went away to take care of her household duties. At that time, Krishna, he tried, he told his friends and other gopis to open, but they could not open. Yashoda Mai's knot was very tight. No one else had that type of, nobody else had the love that Yashoda Mai had. So they could not untie what she had tied. The cowherd boys were in Sakyarasa and her love was too powerful. So they could not untie. And so they all left. Of course, the boys were still there, friends were there. And at that time, Krishna's glance fell on these two trees that were nearby. And when Krishna's glance fell on these two trees, by his Sarvagya Shakti, Sarvagya means omniscience, knowing past, present, future, and about everything. So Krishna, by that Shakti, he could immediately look into the past of those trees. And then he found out that these are Nalakura and Manigriva. They were cursed by Narad Muni. Narad Muni gave this curse and benediction. So to make his devotees' words true, because that is the Lord's pratigna, that he will fulfill his devotees' words. So Krishna now started moving towards those trees. That's how the previous chapter ended. And at the beginning of this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know, he asked a question. He said, what exactly did this Nalakura and Manigriva do? Please tell me in detail that such a great devotee, Mahabhagavad devotee as Narad Muni, he also became angry because anger is mode of ignorance. So he succumbed to the mode of ignorance, that he became angry on them. They must have done something very much condemned. What did they do? Please explain everything to me. That's how this 10th chapter started, with Narad Muni explaining how they were the associates of Lord Rudra, they were the sons of Kuvera, and because of their wealth, they were so intoxicated. And, being intoxicated by their wealth, power, and position, high birth, they were also intoxicated on wine. And they were, when you're intoxicated by wealth, all other intoxications come. So wine, women, gambling, everything will come. So they were like completely in that. And then how, one day they entered into, not day actually, in the night, they entered into Mandakini Ganga in Kailash Parvat. And then Narad Muni was passing by singing the glories of the Lord. Hearing Narad Muni's voice, the ladies immediately came outside and covered themselves with clothes. They told Nalakura Manigriva also to cover themselves, but they didn't care. And when the girls came outside, they also came out naked. They started calling out loudly, come inside, come inside. They wanted to enjoy. Hearing their shouting, Narad Muni's, he came out of his trance. He was in his samadhi singing of the glories of Radha Raman. But when he heard the sound, he just opened his eyes, and then he saw, when he looked at Nalakura and Manigriva, he understood what is their condition, their position. And he got compassion, as a Vaishnava gets compassion. He wanted to deliver them. But then they were so offensive. Their offense would not let them to accept that mercy. So in a merciful way, he decided to give them a curse. Huh? Yeah. So in a merciful way, he decided to curse them. And by this curse, their offense would be destroyed. And then the mercy that he's giving, that they will get bhakti, they'll get association of Krishna, that would be fulfilled. So really it was only his mercy. But because they had that offense, to remove that offense, he gave this curse. But before uttering that, he systematically explained why he is giving this curse. So first he delineated, listed out all the detrimental effects of being intoxicated by wealth. And after that, he says, what is the best medicine for someone who is afflicted by this disease of intoxication of wealth? The best medicine is poverty, being poverty stricken. Then he gives a list of advantages of being poverty stricken. And then the best advantage is he's able to, because he's humble, he's able to, when sadhus come, he appreciates sadhus association. And in that association, he's able to take to bhakti. So because of this, now I'm cursing you. I have decided, I'm going to take away. So in these 4 verses, finally he says, I'm going to take away this intoxication coming from the mode of ignorance of these two who are strainaha, ajitatmanaha. That means strainaha means who are addicted to women, the uncontrolled senses, intoxicated by wealth and all that. I'm going to take away. And because even though being sons of great demigod, they are stooped so low, they are drowned in the mode of ignorance, that they are completely naked in front of me, and they don't even realize that they are naked. They are not even aware of it. Therefore, they deserve to become trees, because trees are naked. They don't feel shy, right? So they deserve to become trees. However, by my mercy, even though they are in the form of trees, they will remember why they are put in the tree bodies and who they actually are and what they did. so that they will not repeat the same thing again. And at the end of 100 years of the demigods, which is 36,000 years on earth, 36,500 years on earth, they will get Krishna Sannidhyam, Vasudevasya Sannidhyam. They'll get the association of Lord Krishna. They'll see Lord Krishna's childhood pastimes. And by Krishna's touch, they'll get bhakti. And then they'll go back to Swarga. So he said all this. After saying, so that was his utterance of curse and benediction, everything. Because even though he's planning, it is not just going on in his mind. He's saying it aloud. The girls were hearing, the girls of the demigods and Nalakura Manigriva were hearing. After saying this, Narad Muni went away. So this verse we are reading, Narad Muni went back to Badrikashram. So he was in Kailash now. He went to Badrikashram, to Naranarayan Rishi's ashram. Meanwhile, what happened to Nalakura Manigriva? Because the curse was uttered. So now immediately after that, they came down to earth and they became trees. They just became, what do you say? Yamalarjuna trees. They're called Chaitya trees. These trees are called Chaitya trees. And the name Arjuna is given because that's the name of, Krishna's associate. Yamala Arjuna trees. So, before concluding this section, we will, because that's how it is explained here also. After the 23rd verse, this is concluding this whole section. So there is some explanation given here. Once again, going over everything, although I did explain, but there are some philosophical points here. So I'll just say that. So Nalakuvara and Manigriva, being intoxicated by wealth, that means Narad Muni, Devarshi Narada, when he saw that Nalakuvara and Manigriva were intoxicated by wealth, what did he do? He explained, he showed, he highlighted the various faults of being intoxicated by wealth. After that, in order to treat these two, Nalakura and Manigriva, in order to treat them of their disease. What is the disease? They were blinded by the intoxication of wealth. The disease was intoxication of wealth, and they were so intoxicated that they became blind. They were not able to see things as they are because of being blinded by the intoxication of wealth. So then, seeing their condition, being a great devotee, Narad Muni got compassion on them and he took a sankalpa to treat these two of their disease. This is a special point to be noted. This is a very, very powerful, important point to be noted. It is, you see, generally by karma, if you do sinful activities, by the law of karma, you'll get punishment. So if somebody is going around naked or, even being intoxicated, the person is naked, by the law of karma, you will become a tree. We see in Bhagavad Gita pictures, you see, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita pictures, somebody who's eating meat will become a lion or tiger. And you see like a prostitute who's naked, then she'll become a tree. Like that. Someone who's sleeping all the time, lazy, he'll become a bear so he can sleep. That's by law of karma. So what is the great thing here? This is an important point to be noted. What is the special thing here? Anyone who does sinful activities, he will get that punishment. So Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they were intoxicated and naked. So they became trees. So this is simply the result that one gets according to the law of karma. What is so special here? Narad Muni is cursing them to become trees. What is so special? The special thing is, it is not Narad Muni's business. It is not Narad Muni's, what do you say, duty to punish those who have committed some sins, who are breaking laws. See, traffic police, he is authorized, that is his duty. If he didn't do that, if somebody is breaking traffic rules and the traffic police is standing there, and if he didn't correct that situation, he will be, that's a fault on his part. He will be punished for not doing his duty because it is his duty. But if you and I are there, and if somebody is breaking traffic rules, you will not be held responsible why you did not correct that person, because you are not authorized for correcting. You understand? So, is it Narad Muni's duty to go and see whoever is breaking law, whoever is committing sinful activity, to give them punishment? Is it Narad Muni's duty? It's not his duty. That's the thing. Still, Narad Muni has taken this sankalpa. But what is his sankalpa? I will punish them for what they have done. Is that his sankalpa? No, because he is a Mahabhagavat devotee. His sankalpa means determination. His determination is, I will treat these two. He is seeing a disease there. You see, in the 6th canto, after the 5th canto, and what is the end of 5th canto? Anyone remembers? We completed 5th canto a while ago. Do you remember? What is the last part of the 5th canto? Last chapter. Mataji?
Is it about hells, Mataji?
Correct. Hellish planets. Yes. There are 27 or 28 hellish planets. That was the last. So in the beginning of 6th canto, Parikshit Maharaj's question, Parikshit Maharaj is feeling for the suffering of the people in hell after hearing how people are tortured in the different types of hell for the different sins that one has done. This is happening according to law of nature. But a devotee's heart is pained to see how people are suffering. Why they are suffering? Because of avidya, ignorance, isn't it? So, how can these people be saved from going to hell? That was Parikshit Maharaj's question. So, Sukadeva Goswami, being an expert guru, a guru's duty is to test the disciple. So, Sukadeva Goswami, in answer, he said, how to save them? They have to do prayaschitta karma. Right? So there is prayaschitta karma. Karma, you have 5 types of karma. Kamya karma. First you have nitya karma, naimittika karma, kamya karma, nishiddha karma, and prayaschitta karma. So if you do nishiddha, forbidden karma, then you have to correct it by prayaschitta karma. This is within the jurisdiction of karma. So, Sukadeva Goswami is answering Parikshit Maharaj's question. Parikshit Maharaj is asking, how can these people be saved from going to hell? It is so painful there. So then, if people who have committed sinful activities, if they commit prayaschitta karma, that means you did some, prayaschitta karma is described in the Karma Kanda section. Something like you have to offer a golden cow or something, or a silver cow to the deity. Like that, different things are there for particular sin. This is the particular remedy. Remedy means prayaschitta. Prayaschitta means atonement. And then they don't have to go to hell like that. Sukadeva Goswami is testing. What did Parikshit Maharaj say? But this is like Hasti. Kunjara Shaucham. Kunjara Shaucham means Hasti Snan. Elephant bath. Elephant goes in the river, takes bath for 2 hours nicely. And after taking bath thoroughly, rubbing itself, pouring water, sitting in the water, cleans thoroughly, taking bath. But as soon as it comes out of water onto the sand, again it will pour sand all over its body. What is the use of that taking bath for 2 hours? What is the use of getting cleaned if you are going to put dirt on yourself immediately after coming out? What does this mean? That means you do karma, sinful karma, and then you do prayaschitta. Whatever prayaschitta it is, some sort of atonement. But is that atonement going to purify your heart? No. Now you will feel, yes, now I have, now I'm free from that sin. But you'll come back and you'll do the sin again. Like the elephant who cleans itself and then comes back and puts dirt. So you do karma, sinful karma or whatever, and then you'll do atonement. After atonement, you'll come back and do the sin because you know there is atonement. I'll go back and I'll do atonement and I'll become free. I'll keep enjoying and I'll keep atoning. This is no solution. Parikshit Maharaj didn't accept that. So Sukadeva Goswami thought, okay, he passed this test, but now it will be a more difficult test. So then the next thing he said is, by not atonement, right? You do this Nishkama Karma Yoga and then you take to Jnana. You take to Jnana sadhanas. So you do Nishkama Karma Yoga. Without attachment to the results, you do Nishkama Karma Yoga. That means you follow the path of Jnana. So by following the path of Jnana, then your, what do you say? The sins are removed. Sins are removed. By that fire of Jnana, your sins will be burnt off. So then Parikshit Maharaj said, this is like burning the bamboo field. You know, when there is a bamboo field, to clear that field, or sometimes there is a forest fire. Usually, bamboos get burnt in a forest fire. And it feels like the whole field has become cleared. Right? Nothing is there. However, when there is a favorable atmosphere, when there are rains, because the roots are still in the ground, once again it starts sprouting and they grow up. So similarly, this Jnana path, Krishna says it's very difficult. Kleshodikataras tesham avyaktasakta chetasam. Klesha adhikataras tesham. It's very difficult, this Jnana path. You know why? Avyakta asakta chetasam. That means one has to be attracted to Brahman, who has no, one means the embodied. We are embodied, living entity who has a body, who has senses, mind. And now we have to meditate on something which has no form, nothing, no attributes. Brahman means just existence. You are supposed to meditate on that. And in order to meditate on that, you have to keep all your senses completely under control. And these senses are like serpents. They're just trying to come back and, like serpents are waiting for an opportunity to attack. These senses are looking for an opportunity to run after the sense objects. How difficult is this? On one hand, keeping your senses completely tied up, and the senses are at every opportune moment trying to go and grab the sense objects. Senses means not just your 5 senses, your mind also. And on the other hand, by keeping all this under control, you have to fix your mind on the avyakta, the unmanifest, which has no attributes. How difficult is this path? And even if one of the roaming senses, thoda sa opportunity mil gaya, it will run again and again you'll fall down. So many examples we have. Vishwamitra Muni became a victim of lust, became a victim of anger. Isn't it? So this Jnana path, temporarily for the time being, it will look like everything is peaceful and you have controlled your senses. But when there is a favorable atmosphere for the senses, once again, immediately, this is not the right solution also. Parikshit Maharaj rejected. Then Sukadeva Goswami was very pleased. Yes, my disciple has passed both the tests. Then he says, how bhakti. And by bhakti, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord once, all your past, present, future sins are removed. Once chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is the potency of bhakti. So, akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. This is from the second canto, of course. But whatever it is, whether you want material things or you want liberation or you want to become free from, that means you have no desires. Under all circumstances, one should only take shelter of bhakti. Tivrena bhakti yogena means, you know what is tivra bhakti? It's like intense light. When do you say that the sunlight is intense? When that light is not covered by clouds, isn't it? When the sunlight is not covered by clouds, you say it's intense sunlight, it's bright. Similarly, tivra bhakti means when that bhakti is not covered by karma jnana. There is exclusive bhakti, that's called tivra bhakti. So when you do tivra bhakti like this, bhakti which is not mixed by karma or jnana, that bhakti can give you whatever you want. Material result, you will get freedom from sins, they'll be removed. You want liberation, you can get. You want Krishna, you can get bhakti. So that's how Sukadeva Goswami begins Ajamil upakhyanam to give a proof of how powerful is this chanting of the holy name. And that's how the 6th canto starts. But why am I saying that here? I'm saying that here because Narad Muni wants to treat the disease of Nalakura Manigriva. What is the disease? Material intoxication. Material intoxication, especially intoxication of wealth. They're so proud about their wealth, about their material position. And Narad Muni wants to treat this. So I was trying to tell you that by karma, when you get a treatment, right, you'll get some punishment. But does that mean you will not do it again? No. You'll go to hell. Yes, you'll get a good punishment. But there is no guarantees that you'll not repeat it again. There's no guarantee. People go to prison and then they come back and they do same things again. So now, the important point here is Narad Muni is not thinking that they have done something, so I have to punish them by this punishment. Now, you know, I've given them a good punishment for what they have done. Besides, he's not a cop. He's not a, he's not Yamaraj, whose duty it is to punish people who have done some sinful activities. He's a Mahabhagavat devotee. What interest does Narad Muni have in punishing Nalakura Manigriva? That you should wonder. You should think about that. So really, it was his mercy. When he saw them in that condition, he's not angry that they are committing sinful activities and they need to be punished for this. Not like that. He's feeling sorry because he is seeing. What does a devotee see? A devotee sees there's only one problem in this whole world. What is that problem? There's only one problem in this world. For all the sins and everything, whatever people are doing. What's that problem?
Forgetfulness
Hare
of
Krishna Mataji.
Krishna. Lack of Krishna consciousness.
Exactly. Lack of Krishna consciousness. Yes. What did you say, Usha Mataji?
I was thinking to say moving away from Krishna and
Ah,
having desire.
Yeah. So yes, having desire comes after you get the body. But before that, avidya. Avidya means, yes, turning away from Krishna. Correct. So avidya. So, and that is also turning away from Krishna means lack of Krishna consciousness. Same. And then desire. Desire comes because of turning away from Krishna. Then next level, you'll get ahankar. That means you'll get subtle body. Subtle body consists of ahankara, chitta, mind, intelligence, senses. So in that subtle body now, in the mind, you'll get desires because of ahankara. Then according to that, according to your karma, you'll get certain desires. Yes. So the problem, a devotee, he will see, he won't see superficially, this person has done this wrong or that wrong. He is seeing at the cause for that. And is trying to treat that. So here Narad Muni wants to treat the disease. He has taken, that sankalpa, that determination to treat the disease of these two people. Now, what is the important philosophical point? If you see any fault in any person, many people will condemn the fault. Yes? If you see that someone has committed something, some bad activity, someone has done some sinful activity, the newspapers are filled with this. Nowadays, not newspaper, it is just news. And on electronic devices, you see news and you watch. It's filled with who has done what wrong, isn't it? How a girl, small child, 11-year-old girl has been raped, gang raped by so many people. Or how some big person, he has embezzled so much money, and so on and so forth. So generally the tendency is, when you see a fault somewhere, people talk about it and they condemn it. ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. This should not have been done. This person did this, this type of sin people have done. So they reject that it shouldn't be done, and they will also try to, say how it should be stopped. Such type of sinful activity has to be stopped, and he should be punished for doing this. Like this, people will talk. However, how many people actually take the responsibility to remove that fault in that person? Many people will talk about what happened, what this person did. How many people actually take the responsibility to clear that person of that fault, to remove it from the root, uproot that fault from that person? Actually clean up that fault in that person. How many people take responsibility? You can even just think about your own circles. Almost every day, I think, we end up talking about how this thing was not right, that thing was not right, this person has done that, that person has done that. But by talking about it, am I really contributing towards cleaning that person? Like, have I taken a responsibility to remove that fault from that person? How many people who are of the people, you see the percentage of, the people who are talking, how many of them are actually taking responsibility to remove that fault? Only the devotees of Krishna have this nature. A devotee of Krishna, he has this svabhav, this nature, that when he sees a fault, first of all, devotee does not see faults. He doesn't see any fault in others. He won't see faults. That's his nature. And even if he sees some fault, he will not give any importance to that. He will not accept it. You understand? On this also there's discussion. Sati, the talks between Sati and Lord Shiva. Actually, not Sati and Lord Shiva, Sati and Daksha. So there, sadhus and asadhus are 4 types, it is said. I may have it written down somewhere in the OneNote. I will look up afterwards. But sadhu, sadhutara, sadhutama, atyasadhutama. Progression. Similarly, asadhu, asadhutara, asadhutama, atyasadhutama. And then there's a definition for each one. So you'll take sadhu and asadhu. Both are opposites, like 2 ends of a spectrum. One is sadhu and one is asadhu. So there it is about seeing faults. The exact details so I don't want to just give you something. When I look through it, I will tell you exactly what it is. Who is sadhu, who is asadhu. But I mean, if I can pull it out, you have it. Acha, Dhruv Maharaj's question. I forgot what question I asked. You remember the question? That's why it's better to resolve it.
Like,
Ah,
Mataji, like why he was killing yakshas and what benefit actually he was doing for them. Like we were discussing, like Narad Muni, if he's cursing, it is for the benefit of uh, Nala and Kuvet, the devotee and the Krishna and devotee, whatever they do, they're doing for the benefit of yaksha, the other person,
yeah.
right? So this was the, I think, question as far as I can recall. That why did Dhruv Maharaj, what benefit Dhruv Maharaj was doing to all other yakshas who didn't kill his brother by killing them?
Good. You remember the question. Yes. Okay, I'll answer that. So, so Dhruv Maharaj, he is a pure devotee. And why he is taking, so yeah, what benefit is he doing to the yakshas by killing them? Isn't it? Because the thing is, devotees don't take revenge. They don't take revenge. Narad Muni is also not taking revenge by cursing. He's actually doing some good to Nalakura and Manigriva by cursing them. Then Dhruv Maharaj, he also killed so many yakshas. What is he doing? So actually there the answer is, he's not really punishing them or doing them any benefit as a pure devotee. That he was not playing the role as a pure devotee there. You see, pure devotees means 24 hours he'll be doing devotional service. And his consciousness is completely surrendered to the Lord. He does not take any offense, basically. So there's no question of taking revenge. However, many times, that's why we have Bhajananandis and Goshtyanandis. Goshtyanandi means they will live among people. They will preach to people. And in that also you can have either a sannyasi or you can have a grihastha. When this pure devotee is a grihastha, he is amongst, in society, playing the role as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Grihastha means he has to be Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And of course, there are outcasts. But within the Vedic society, there's Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then he has to, when he's playing that role, he's teaching people by his personal example, he has to uphold that particular dharma. Does it mean that he feels that I have to do this dharma? Not for his own sake. For his sake, he is already sarvadharman parityaja. He doesn't depend on his kshatriya dharma or, grihastha dharma for his advancement. No, then he won't be a pure devotee. A pure devotee doesn't depend on any dharmas, that if I didn't do my dharma, I will get sin. He is above sin and piety. But to set example to others who are still within that grip of sin and piety, he is a pure devotee. He is beyond because he got Dhrida Shraddha. Only those who get Dhrida Shraddha, they are qualified for giving up karma, sarva dharman parityaja. If they don't have Dhrida Shraddha, they have to do karma according to their nature, swabhava. They have to do karma. And then that karma has to be offered to Krishna, like we were discussing yesterday, Arop Siddha Bhakti. That karma has to be offered to Krishna. Either, as Jnanis, Nishkama Karma Yoga, or in Bhaktas, they'll do Karma Arpanam with love. So, even though this devotee got Dhrida Shraddha and he doesn't have anything to do with karma for himself, still to teach others, he's just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, playing the role of a devotee. He's the Supreme Lord, but by his personal example, he's the Supreme Lord, but he's playing the role of a devotee. You understand? Like a teacher, like she writes as if she is learning how to write A, like this first, like this. Why? So that following in her footsteps, the students will also learn. Exactly like this pure devotee will walk the path of dharma, so that the people behind him who are following him, they will also walk the right path. Another example is, as parents, when we hold our small children's hands, when we are walking on the road, if there is some potholes or something, you tell them, you walk behind me. Wherever I'm putting my foot, you put your foot there. Then you'll not fall in the ditch. Like that. So the devotee is showing, this is how you should follow dharma. And then you will not fall, you will not go to hell. You have to live according to dharma. See how I am living? Like that you have to live. Now, does he actually feel for himself, I should follow this dharma? No. That's why internally means even like Bharat Maharaj is constantly chanting and he's doing his dharma as a Kshatriya king. So similarly here, Dhruva Maharaj is setting example as a Kshatriya. And he's setting example as a brother. Because in Grihastha, when you say Grihastha, now there is dharma for father, dharma for mother, dharma for wife, dharma for husband, dharma for brothers. Yes, everyone has dharma. So if your brother is killed by some enemy, then you'll simply sit idle and you won't take any action. This will show very badly what type of a Kshatriya is he. His brother is killed and he's not even retaliating. He's not taking any revenge. And the enemies will take advantage of this. Oh, this king is a faltu hai, right? He's not able to give proper protection. One who is not able to avenge the death of his brother, how he's going to protect his citizens? If somebody attacked his citizens, his kingdom, he won't be capable of taking. Now they will come and attack. And then the citizens also will lose faith in such a king. He is not able to protect his own brother. How he will give us protection? You see? So his Kshatriya dharma, as a Kshatriya and as a brother, he's setting example how a Kshatriya should be. A Kshatriya means you have to avenge the death of your dear one. If somebody has killed, you have to, life for life. And why one life? For one life, I'm ready to destroy the entire race. This is Kshatriya dharma. So he's setting that example. Of course, when it was going out of control, then there are higher authorities and they came and they stopped. That is another example. right? When you are superior, Manu is his grandfather. Dhruva Maharaj's father is Uttanpad. Uttanpad's father is Swayambhu Manu. So when Manu appeared and said, no, don't kill, because this is the Lord's creation. You cannot just wipe out one race like that. And now obedience to superiors. He obliged, yes. That's also example. So to set example as a Kshatriya, he did that. He didn't do that as a pure devotee. That's the thing there. Okay. But Narad Muni, when he is cursing Nalakura Manigriva, he's doing it as a pure devotee. He's giving mercy. He's treating them. So nice. Actually, your point fit well in our discussion. So coming back to Narad Muni's cursing, the point here is when someone does fault, the tendency is to point out the fault, to condemn it, to criticize, to blaspheme. But all those people who are talking, how many of them are actually going to take responsibility for that? Only a devotee of Krishna, a devotee of the Lord, his nature, first of all, he won't see any fault. So in that sense, maybe I'll just quickly take out and show you that also. Sadhutara, sadhutama, atyasadhutama. Sadhu, sadhutara, sadhutama, and atyasadhutama. This is the hierarchy of devotees. So this comes in Daksha upakhyanam, 4th canto, 3rd chapter. Actually, not 3rd chapter, maybe 4th chapter, because talks between Sati and her father Daksha, because Daksha is criticizing Lord Shiva. He not just criticizing Lord Shiva, he was performing this great yagya, and there were no oblations set aside for Lord Shiva. Like his share was not kept aside. Because whenever there's a yagya, the demigods, different demigods get a share of that. Lord Shiva is such a prominent demigod, principal demigod, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. But for Lord Shiva, there was no share kept set aside. So this was outright envy towards Lord Shiva. So when Sati saw this, it was intolerable to her. So at that time, she says, so I told you, sadhutara and sadhu. So atyasadhutama means superlative, more than superlative. The highest devotee is atyasadhutama. And the lowest, most degraded type of asadhu is atyasadhutama. So there, Lord Shiva is called atyasadhutama. And Daksha is called atyasadhutama. Okay. So I'm actually pulling that out for you. I will just say that. Although I kind of remember saying it before, but it's okay. 1 second. Yes. 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 I can share the screen if that keeps you engaged while I'm looking. Yeah, Sati. Don't mind this is like running and the class goes really fast. So whatever I'm trying to type, I just type. So there are a lot of typos there. But I'm looking for the 4 types of sadhus and 4 types of asadhus. Hmm. Maybe I wrote it separately. Yeah, next one maybe. Should be there only, but I will look up another one. Uh, I'll look up another time and tell you. And I think I wrote it separately somewhere. It's about finding faults. That's actually very relevant. That discussion would have been really relevant here. Uh, Sadhu means, like one who does not see faults, and another person, even if he sees faults, he doesn't take them seriously, like that. And another person is, even though he's seeing faults, he doesn't see them as faults, he sees it as a good quality, like that. Or someone who sees even one small, like he's filled with so many faults, but there is one small quality. He just magnifies that one quality so much. There's such wonderful discussion on that. But I want to give you exactly what was said. And I'm trying to find that file. And I'm losing time here. Maybe I just wrote it in the description. Let me just quickly check in the description if it's there. Or we can continue this discussion tomorrow and move on to Bhagavad Gita now, and I can do that too. So I'm looking for fourth canto. So I found the lecture, but the details of who is sadhu, sadhutara, sadhutama. Okay, maybe I can look for session 9 or 412 to 28. So Bhagavatam 4th canto, 4th chapter. Sati quits her body between 12 and 28. Anyway, at least I know exactly where it is. I will remind me tomorrow, or I'll remind myself also that I will tell you about this sadhu, sadhutara, sadhutama, atyasadhutama, and then also asadhu, asadhutara, asadhutama, atyasadhutama. Let me do one last search. Maybe in one note it is there, because now I know, because I remember discussing it. Now I know where it is. I look for that particular verse if I have a page. So this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. I'm not seeing it here. It's okay, but I will definitely tell you tomorrow. I'll tell you about this, but quickly I will just continue from here. So the point is about, the discussion is here about finding faults in others. Finding means even talking about it. You don't have to go looking, with a thing, but even otherwise, when you see faults also, how we should deal with that. That's the important topic here. So only the Lord's devotee has this nature that he will not find any faults in others. He doesn't see any faults. That's his nature. He won't see. Even if the person is filled with faults, he won't see any faults. And by chance, if he sees some faults also, he doesn't take those faults seriously. He does not accept. He's not connecting that person with those faults and then judging that person. No. You understand? दोष को ग्रहण नहीं करते. अगर देख भी लिए तो दोष को ग्रहण नहीं करते. Why? Because it is the nature of the devotees, adosha darshi. They don't see faults. This is the nature of devotees, that they don't see faults. But here we are saying Narad Muni saw faults in Nalakura Manigriva. That means if at all they see any faults, that means अगर उनको दिखाई दे दिया किसी तरह से, so that crest jewel amongst all devotees shows mercy to that person by cursing that person. Why? To somehow or other wash off that fault from that person. This is such an important principle. When we see something dirty, we feel, oh, it's nasty, and we walk away from there. And maybe we talk with others, oh, that place is so nasty. You know what is a devotee's mentality? A devotee, when he sees something dirty, first of all, he will go and clean it up. He'll clean that place. He'll clean it up. So now take that in people. When he sees some faults in people, instead of talking about it, how this person has this fault and this is so bad and this should not be done like that. What can I do to help there? How can I clean that person's fault? So first of all, he won't see faults in people. If at all he sees a fault, then He's so merciful that he takes responsibility to clean up that fault in that person. पहला तो देखते ही नहीं है दोष को. अगर किसी तरह से दोष दिखाई दे दिया तो किसी ना किसी तरह से उस दोष को धो देते हैं. This is a devotee. Now, what is the lesson for all of us? If we don't have the capacity to remove a person's fault, if we don't have the power to remove a person's fault, then simply showing the fault of that person will destroy us. फिर से बोलती हूं, यदि हमें किसी के दोष का, क्या बोलते हैं, किसी के दोष को धो देने का सामर्थ्य नहीं है, तब दूसरों के दोषों का दर्शन करने से, मतलब यू आर लुकिंग एट इट एंड यू आर शोइंग ऑल्सो अदर्स. दूसरों के दोषों का दर्शन करने से अथवा सूचना देने से, both, you are seeing faults and then you are informing others about those faults. उससे क्या होता है? उससे पाप की आशंका होती है. You are incurring sin. Whatever sin that person has done, that's a fault. That sin is a fault. You are seeing that fault and you are informing others about that fault. इससे क्या हो रहा है? You are incurring, you are becoming part of that sin. This is not simply said like that. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 17th chapter, text 22. If you remember, Parikshit Maharaj asking the bull, who did this to you? 3 of the legs of the bull were broken, and somehow or other the bull was standing on one leg. That Kali had broken 3 legs. Somehow he's standing, and even that one leg, that Kali in the form of a king, right, a lowly king, he was beating. It was actually a Shudra dressed up like a king, beating that one leg of that dharma. So immediately Parikshit Maharaj came, stopped that person and asked Dharma. Actually, I think Parikshit Maharaj didn't see him beating. He just saw the condition of the bull and he asked, who did this to you? Who did this to you? Dharma, that bull didn't say anything. He didn't say, this person beat me. Rather, he said, मैं किसको दोष दूं? इनको दूं, उनको दूं, उनको दूं, किसको दूं? Actually, ultimately, ये मेरा destiny है, ऐसा होना लिखा है. He didn't point out at anyone who did that to him. इसी से परीक्षित महाराज समझ गए कि ये जरूर धर्म है. Because this is the principle of dharma. If you talk about somebody's fault, then you also share that sin, that fault. You'll have to go to hell for that. Yad dharma kritah sthanam suchakasyapi tad bhavet. Even if you inform यद अधर्म कृतः, मतलब जहां पे अधर्म हुआ है उसके बारे में आप जब बात करेंगे तो आप भी उस अधर्म के भागीदारी बनेंगे. पापाचरण में आसक्त व्यक्ति पाप करके जिस प्रकार नरक यातना भोग करता है, उसके पाप की सूचना देने या वर्णन करने पर निष्पाप व्यक्ति को भी उसी प्रकार नरक का दुख भोग करना पड़ता है. You didn't do that sin yourself, but you informed another person about a sin, or you described it. By doing that, you will also have to go to hell. for the sin which you didn't do, but you talked about it. Therefore, the devotees of the Lord, they will never even see the faults of others. And even by chance, if they see the fault, they will not describe that fault. And by this, they don't open the doors of hell for themselves. This is the principle. And again, in the 11th canto, 28th chapter, first text, that is also saying, Parasvabhava karmani na prashamsenna garhayeta. Another quality of devotee. दूसरों के स्वभाव के बारे में, दूसरों के स्वभाव को की ना तो प्रशंसा करते हैं ना निंदा करते हैं भक्त लोग. मतलब materially, if somebody is very successful materially, very prosperous materially, this and that, famous, all that, they don't glorify that. At the same time, they don't condemn the sinful activities of materialistic persons. They just don't get into this whole thing. Sadhus. This is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 28th chapter, text 1. And the previous one who is talking about another person's sin also has to go to hell for that sin. This is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 27th chapter, I'm sorry, not 27, 17th chapter. 17th chapter, text 22. 1:17:22 and 11:28:1. 11:28:1 is saying that sadhus, they don't glorify the material qualities of others and they don't condemn the material qualities of others, the sinful activities of others. This is actually the order of Krishna. This is in Uddhav Gita. The Lord is ordering that devotees should not, they should not glorify or condemn material qualities. So remembering the Lord's order given here, the devotees, they don't become entangled in glorifying or condemning, criticizing, talking about the activities of people, material activities of people, whether sinful activities or pious activities. They are only absorbed in remembering and glorifying the lotus feet of Lord Krsna. They are not interested in any prajalpa. So prajalpa can be either glorification of some material success or it can be criticizing, condemning some sinful activities. Devotees don't take part in that. Now Narad Muni, being Parama Bhagavatottama, the best topmost devotee, he is looking at the faults of Nalakura and Manigriva. Why he is looking? Because he took this sankalpa. I am going to remove these faults from these two. He's actually taking responsibility. That's the important point here. You see, Prahlad Maharaj also says, my Guru Maharaj, it's because of Narad Muni, Guru Maharaj of Prahlad Maharaj. So he's saying, whatever bhakti I have, it's because my Guru Maharaj has claimed me as his servant. हाथ पकड़ के मुझे ले लिए, मतलब वो मुझे अपना सेवक बना लिए और मेरी पूरी जिम्मेदारी उन्होंने ले ली. He took responsibility of me. That's all I have, the mercy of my Guru. Otherwise, I have nothing. On my own, I don't have anything. Whatever good fortune I have is because my Guru Maharaj claimed me as his servant. So this is what Narad Muni is doing. They just select, and is there any criteria? They select people who are rich, who are poor, who are relatives, who are outside the family. Nothing. There is no calculation there. It's their free will. They can select anyone from anywhere. They can select a very pious person. They can select a very sinful person. They can give their mercy to anyone. It's not that they only select sinful people. Or it's not that they select only pious people. They select only Indian people. It's not like that. Sadhu can give his mercy to anyone. So here, why Narad Muni is seeing fault after we heard so much about how devotees shouldn't see faults, devotees don't see faults. Huh? But here Narad Muni is seeing the faults of Nalakuvara Manigriva. Why? Because his intention was to purify these two people. He made this sankalpa in his mind. That means he took this determination that I will purify these two people. If Narad Muni didn't have this capacity or power to remove their faults, their sins, he would have never even looked on their faults. He would have never even looked on their faults. Or he wouldn't even have looked on them. And considering what their faults are. Because you see, what is devotee's consciousness? We already saw that in the verses only we saw. When we were reading about why Narad Muni, why sadhus go only to poor people's home, they don't go to rich people's home. There it is said, rich people who are intoxicated by wealth, and they're always absorbed in their sense gratificatory and, their pride of wealth. They don't have any, sadhus are interested in always discussing about Krishna Katha. And these people have no interest in that. Why sadhus should go there? Their wavelengths don't match. So such people, and they don't respect sadhus. So such people deserve to be rejected or neglected by sadhus. They deserve to be neglected by sadhus, it is said. So there, the question was asked, so sadhus will only go to poor people's home. They won't go to rich people's home, isn't it? That question was asked there. So then it is said, no. The reason they don't go is because these people don't deserve. However, they're samachittanam. They have equal vision for both rich people, poor people. But rich people don't take advantage of sadhus. They keep so many barriers that sadhus cannot come to their house. But poor people are open. Sadhus can easily go. And they take advantage of sadhus association. That was said there. So here the point is, if Narad Muni didn't have the capacity to purify the sins means the consciousness, right? To uplift the consciousness, to remove the faults of Nalakuvara of Manigriva, he wouldn't even have looked at them or their faults, how they're enjoying naked with women. I mean, why would a sadhu want to look at all this garbage and pollute his own consciousness? Nicely, Narad Muni is absorbed in singing the glories of Radhika Raman, singing and going. Why would he want to look at, isn't it? Sadhus, if you're walking on the street and if there is some obnoxious, nude billboards, if you're a sadhu, if you know that there is something which is not good, you won't even look there. You'll just look away. Natural. Because why should I pollute my consciousness by looking at dirty things? Isn't it? That's a sadhu's nature. So Narad Muni wouldn't even have looked at them. If he didn't have the power to purify them, this is a very, very important philosophical point. We should pay attention to this. If I don't have the capacity to correct that situation, then don't even look at it. What's the point? What's the point? Instead, you chant your Hare Krishna, you read your Bhagavatam, you hear your Bhagavad, because you're not able to do anything there. There's nothing you can do to contribute there. If you have the power, what is your power? Your power is bhakti power only, nothing else. If you can actually do something there, do something means help that person come out of that mess. By your potency of bhakti, if you're able to do, okay, then you look into it, you consider how to help that. Otherwise, what business have you got? This is a sadhu's mentality. A sadhu will not talk about the faults of others. And he is jeopardizing his own bhakti by doing that. If he doesn't have power, we saw. He will go to hell for talking. That means you're basically, it's like there is stool somewhere and you go and you put your finger inside that. What's the need to do that? Isn't it? That's the point. So, but Narad Muni has seen. Why? Because he has taken this sankalpa to purify them. But if he didn't have that power, he would not have even looked at them, how they're enjoying with the ladies and how they're naked. No, why will he spoil his own consciousness? Narad Muni had thought that the cause for the condition of Nalakura and Manigriva, what is the root cause? Not exactly the root cause, but you see certain symptoms. The symptoms are coming because of some cause. So the fault because of which they are in this condition today, if I destroy that cause, that fault, then their current condition will be, they will come out of their current condition of being intoxicated, and absorbed in complete sense gratification with women and wine. The cause for this, what is the cause? Wealth. And that wealth got to their head, right? They became proud of their wealth. Dhana mada andha. They became blinded by the pride of wealth. That is the cause. That is the fault which has led them to such a fallen state where they don't care for a sadhu. They are naked in Kailash Parvat where everyone is worshipping. In that place in Ganga, Mandakini Ganga, they are enjoying with women naked. The cause for this is their intoxication of wealth. They became blind because of that intoxication of wealth. Therefore, if I destroy that intoxication of wealth, then their blindness can be removed. How to remove that blindness? Poverty. This poverty is the best medicine to treat this blindness. Those people who become blind because of intoxication of wealth, and as a result of that, they engage in different types of sinful activities like wine, women, gambling, meat eating, etc. Somehow or other, if such people become poverty stricken, they lose all their wealth, then they will become very humble because of that poverty. And they will get that humility. And now they will be able to, when they come in the association of sadhus, they'll be able to appreciate the sadhus association. That's why a devotee is not satisfied simply by giving punishment. When he sees a fault, he's not satisfied simply by giving punishment. He wants to purify the heart of the person who has committed that crime. After giving punishment, he wants to ensure that the person has changed. There's a change of heart. His heart is purified. How the heart will be purified? By doing bhajan of the Supreme Lord. So, when devotees punish, after giving punishment, they give bhakti to that person. Narad Muni to Mrigari the hunter. Again, he made that Mrigari, who was a hunter, who used to half kill animals and take pleasure in that, he turned him into such a great devotee that now he didn't even want to step on ant. He got such a transformation of heart. How? He engaged him. He gave them this mantra, chant the holy names of the Lord. Like that. Dhruv Maharaj was stricken by the harsh words of his mother, stepmother. He couldn't tolerate it. He was so disturbed. And he wanted to teach a lesson by getting a better kingdom than his father. or even grandfather. Narad Muni guided him. How? Engaging him in bhakti. Of course, Dhruva Maharaj was not doing any, crime or anything, but Mrigari was. He was killing. Also, we see Prachina Barhishad. Prachina Barhi is the son of, Prachina Barhi is a descendant of Dhruva Maharaj. So he was performing so many yagyas, so in which there were animal sacrifices being done. Animals were being sacrificed. Yagyas, karmakanda yagyas, but he's performing animal sacrifices. Narad Muni went to him and showed him what is the future. All the animals, basically he told him this animal sacrifice is not good. When you sacrifice, then you have to pay back for that. So then, that means we see the devotee, and then he engaged him. He told him to give up he told him the story of King Puranjana, who was attached to his wife and all that allegorical story. And then he inspired Prachina Barishad to give up and then go to the forest and, surrender to the absolute truth like that, to the Supreme Lord. So the point is, when a devotee sees somebody's fault, he is not simply pointing out that fault or simply giving punishment, but after giving punishment, he is ensuring that this person has taken to bhakti. His heart is purified. Devotee gives him bhakti. Bhakti का अधिकार प्रदान करते हैं. If you don't have that power to purify that person, then don't even talk about it or look at the faults. So one example is given here. The way a farmer, he is ploughing the field and he is not satisfied simply ploughing the field. You see, the field, if you are not working on the field, then so many weeds will come, it will just become like a wild place. But a farmer, after ploughing, the land looks nice, isn't it? It's plowed and it looks nice. And then what will the farmer do? He's happy simply ploughing? No, he'll put a seed. He will sow seeds in that field and water it. Then there's a nice crop, rice field or wheat field or corn field will come. Similarly, devotee is not simply satisfied removing all the weeds, punishing, that's not sufficient. He will simply giving punishment is like ploughing the field. After ploughing the field, you have to plant the seed. So even if the devotee gives a harsh punishment, after that punishment, he will plant the bhakti lata bij, the seed of bhakti in the heart of that person, so that that seed will grow and produce the fruit of love. If we don't have this power, this capacity, then there is no need to look at the faults of others. That's the message here. So they got this curse to become trees. After giving this curse, then Narad Muni said that after 100 years of the demigods, Swayam Bhagwan, Lord Sri Krishna, he will descend from Goloka and perform his eternal pastimes on this earth. And he will perform his childhood pastimes. At that time, he will be near you while performing those childhood pastimes. Near you means when you are in the form of these trees. By the touch of Krishna's lotus feet, you will be delivered from the tree life. You will not remain in tree life anymore when you will be touched by the lotus feet of Krishna. And then once again, you will get your demigod body. By this curse, you are getting tree body. when Krishna's lotus feet touch you, when will that happen? 36,500 earth years after that. Then by Krishna's touch, you'll be delivered from the tree body, and once again you'll get your demigod body. And by the potency of the touch of Krishna's lotus feet, you will never again become proud of your wealth. You will never get that. This is also the beauty. You see, now they are getting demigod body by the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. Whatever wealth you get by doing bhakti, also you can get material result. That's why it is said, if you have material desires also, you do bhakti only. Because whatever you get as a result of bhakti, it is all auspicious. It cannot be inauspicious. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, he got a kingdom. But that will not be inauspicious for him because he got this by the Lord's grace. As a result of bhakti, he got. But the material results that you get as a result of karma, it's not auspicious. Take Hiranyakashipu. He did tapasya. He worshipped Lord Brahma. Worshipping of demigods is what? Worshipping of demigods is karma. It's not bhakti. It's not bhakti. It's karma. So he worshipped Lord Brahma. He did severe tapasya. He forced Brahma to come by severe tapasya. And he got benedictions. He became practically the controller of the whole universe. Except for Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, all other demigods were under his control. So powerful. All this he got, but not as a result of bhakti. Was it auspicious for him? He got killed. That wealth only made him an enemy of the whole universe. Everybody, all sadhus. The Lord had to come finally. Of course, sadhus don't treat anyone as their enemies, but he was torturing them like anything. Finally, when he tortured a pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, who was his own son, then the Lord personally came and killed him. So that wealth which he got as a result of his karma was not auspicious for him. Same with Ravana. Because it goes to their head. They become so proud. They become so, heartless, merciless. They commit all types of sinful activities, crimes. Those who have wealth. But the same wealth, when you get as a result of bhakti, that wealth is not inauspicious. This is another important philosophical point. So many lessons to be learned from this pastime. So now, Narad Muni is saying that by the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna, once again, you'll become demigods, but this time, you will never ever become proud. He didn't say, because of being trees for 36,000 years, therefore you will never become proud again. He's saying by the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna, you will never ever become proud. So this is the benediction from Krishna. After you become freed, delivered from the tree body, you will receive your demigod bodies and you will remain devotees in those bodies. In demigod bodies, you will be rendering devotional service to Krishna. You'll get bhakti. So these were all the same things that Narad Muni said in verses 20, 21, 22. So first, you'll be delivered from the tree body by the touch of Krishna. First, you'll get association of Krishna after 100 years of demigods. And the association of Krishna, you'll get the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. By that, your tree body, you'll be delivered from this tree body. You'll get demigod body. Never again will you become proud in those demigod bodies. And because of Krishna's touch, now you will, in those demigod bodies, you will be engaged in devotional service to Krishna. So in this way, Sukadeva Goswami is describing to Parikshit Maharaj about how Nalakuvara and Manigriva received tree bodies. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj, the crest jewel amongst all devotees, Sri Narada, after uttering this curse and the benediction, once again he started playing on his veena, his instrument, and singing the glories of Hari. And in this way, he went to the ashram, Badrik ashram, which is the ashram of Naranarayan Rishi. He went in that direction towards Badrik ashram, ashram of Naranarayan Rishi. And Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who were, at that time, immediately after that, they got the bodies of Arjuna trees, Yamala Arjuna trees in Gokula. So they came to Gokula as the trees of Yamala Arjuna. So in fact, Narad Muni didn't have even an iota of anger towards Nalakuvara and Manigriva. By seeing their pathetic material condition, fallen material condition, Narad Muni simply got compassion in his heart. You see, another point is, those who are pure devotees of Krishna, especially Bhakta Chudamani, means the crest jewels of pure devotees, Mahabhagavad devotees, their hearts cannot be touched by any material quality. What is material quality? Such as, anger, envy, revenge. They cannot touch the devotees, pure devotees' hearts. They cannot have such qualities. Why? Because in their hearts, continuously, Lord Krishna is residing in the form of his name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes. They are constantly relishing, absorbed in either chanting Krishna's names or remembering Krishna's form or remembering Krishna's qualities or remembering Krishna's pastimes. So how can there be any material qualities in their hearts? We should not think that Narad Muni has cursed Nalakuvara and Manigriva because they disrespected him. They showed their naked body to him. No. Actually, Narad Muni showed his great mercy towards Nalakuvara and Manigriva. Lamentation, material happiness or joy, fear, anger, violence, being disturbed. These qualities are for those who have turned away from Krishna. Krishna Bahirmukh Jeev will have these qualities. One who is not Krishna conscious, he is constantly in the company of such qualities. But those who have surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, these qualities, right, external qualities, they cannot even, so in the form of an enemy, these are enemies, these qualities are enemies. Such enemies cannot even lurk anywhere near the devotees who have surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna. That's why Narad Muni is looking at that means when Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who were blinded by intoxication of wealth, when they're receiving the glance of Narad Muni on them, is actually their great fortune. For Nalakuvara and Manigriva to receive the glance of Narad Muni on them, it is their great fortune. Their receiving the tree bodies is far glorious than the current demigod body that they were in. Their tree bodies, their living in those tree bodies is far glorious than the current bodies that they had as the sons of Kuvera. Why? Because that Those tree bodies were awarded to them by the mercy of Narad Muni. Another lesson. Even if you get cursed, even if you get chastised, punished by a devotee, that is glorious than whatever material achievement you may get. And devotees, when they give punishment, they give without any malice in their heart, because such bad qualities cannot stay in the hearts of devotees. And by that curse, which is actually the mercy of Narad Muni, what happened? They got the form of trees, but they got to reside in Vraja, Krishna's land. How fortunate is that? So in this way, we conclude this verse, text 29. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I went way over time, but thank you for staying. I was going to do Bhagavad Gita, but I won't do it today. Hopefully, but this was a very important discussion. I had to complete it. Tomorrow onwards, we will do Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam
Thank you
ki
so much,
jai.
Mother.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava.